Hey you guys, I am back. I ran to the grocery store really quickly to get away from the kids and make this video really quickly because I got a question from two people, right? One of them I know very well, the other person I don't so much, but it's the same problem, same case, so I figured I would address it, and it's pretty serious. So let me get right to it. All right. So Crohn's, both of these individuals have severe Crohn's issues. All right. One of them has had surgeries because they had abscesses in the lower part of the rectum, and they had a surgery to remove it because it was burrowing in. It was doing some nasty stuff. They couldn't take the pain, and they had to have some surgery, right, to remove that. That person that had that surgery, they're not healing very well, which would make sense that they're not healing very well because they have Crohn's. That's an inflammatory problem. They're not going to heal very well, right? So, and there was never an assessment made on this person prior to having the surgery, right? So there was never really an assessment to even know if now they're diagnosing like, oh crap, it's not healing. It looks like you have Crohn's. All right, so I have these two people that reached out to me about their Crohn's situation. The other person, the one that didn't have surgery, they're questioning me about probiotics and asking me what I think about that, because they're seeing it all over the internet. And I'm seeing it too all over social media, right? Where everyone's promoting gut renewal, gut health, gut boosting, and they're talking about taking in more fiber, taking in more prebiotics. They're using all these terms, right? Taking in more fiber, prebiotics, and taking probiotics and eating things to and I'm just saying, whoa, hold on, right? Let's just back on up, because a lot of what's going on, right, with the people that reach out to me is they're watching YouTube, they're watching influencers, and you have to remember these people are on YouTube and they are influencers, right? You have to assess your situation for you. What might look like restriction to somebody else, it might be the thing that saves you. Forget about me, right? Even what I'm telling you, assess it and figure out if what I'm saying is gonna make sense, right? I'm gonna tell you what I would do if it were me. I'm gonna take you through my thinking and why I would do it this way if it were me. All right. So if it were me, I would pull back, like way back, right? When I say way back, I mean juices only. No food. Why? Well, you have a severe Crohn's issue, which means you're malabsorbed, you can't process food, you cannot digest food, right? And if you can, very little. All right? So what's the sense in trying to eat the food? Okay, and this is for both of you guys, okay? Because both of you guys have similar, pretty much the same, right? So this is what I would do. I can't eat. I mean, why bother? Why bother eating the food? All right, and in one of you's cases, whenever you move your bowels, you're in severe pain, right? Because you had that surgery, and every time feces passes next to it, it's painful. And another thing too is I know they told you that it might be infected, yeah, because it's not healing and you're passing feces, or I mean, to me I don't even know how these people, I don't even understand it, but this is all common sense if you think it through, right? For somebody who, I guess for somebody like me, I don't know. To me, it seems like common sense. But I understand where you are at, right? Because these are things that nobody told you. You don't know, and you're trying to go with what the professional is telling you. All right. But you're not healing, unfortunately. So, okay. Juice only. That's what I would do, because you can't eat anyways. It makes no sense. You can't digest the food. Probiotics are microbiome is all well and good, but where are they gonna live? This is for the one that messaged me about probiotics and seeing this all over there. Where are your bacteria gonna live? You don't have a hospitable environment for them, right? They're not gonna populate. You can take it all you want, but they're not gonna populate. right? They're not going to populate because there's nothing for them to grab onto. They got to grab onto the surface. That's how they grab onto the surface, and then they colonize. That's how you get colonies or microbiome growing in your gut. There's nowhere for them to do that because you're inflamed, and all your microvilli and everything else is like this, and this is all straight. You're supposed to have ridges, right, in your colon. Where you straighten them out, they're bigger than a football field. That's how much surface area you're supposed to have in your colon. Right now they're like this, right, and dead. So you're not absorbing anything, right? And there's nowhere for your bacteria to live. The bacteria that was there, they all left. They're gone. They're gone to find somewhere else to live. All right. So what are you going to do? You need minerals. You need micronutrients like your vitamins. You need your macros like your protein, amino acids, your carbs. You need these things, right? Because you still have to function day to day. How are you going to get them? Juice. You need your hydration. How are you going to get it? Juice. You can't, remember now, you cannot absorb, you are malabsorbed. You cannot digest your food. You're barely even absorbing it. So you've got to go to something where you're cutting out the middleman, you're cutting out digestion, and you're just doing straight absorption. Because you want to try to absorb as much as you can in terms of what you need in order to function, right? So this is why I'm saying I would go with the juice. The other reason why I'm saying I would go with the juice is because you also need to get some anti-inflammatories in there. You need to get something else in there that's going to pull, that's going to be astringent, right? And that's where the juices are going to come in as well, because you're going to get your polyphenols, your antioxidants, your anti-inflammatories. You're going to get all that good stuff that's going to help to bring the inflammation down. And if you use targeted juices, you could really kick that up a notch, right? And I'm going to go into some of the things I would make sure to include in my juices while I was doing this journey, right? Now, the reason why I'm going with juices and not, somebody else might put you into like a dry fast or a water fast. I wouldn't go that route, and that's because my thinking is, which is with most people, your kidneys and your adrenals are probably not where they should be, which means you're probably not filtering, you're probably not moving lymph, and that's why you're backed up in that area in the first place, and that's why you're having inflammation in that area, right? So you have some inflammation that's actually in your wall, right? This is your gut, this is the wall, this is the lining. You have inflammation in the wall. That was the first stage, right? That was the first part. That was probably like low level itis, like maybe you had IBS or something like that, right? Now you've got the inflammation on the inside. Now it's creeped out. It can't go anymore, right? So now it's actually in the wall. This is what's presenting now. So they're calling it a flare up. I know they call them flare ups, right? And so that's what's presenting in your case right now. Okay, so the lymphatic system that's supposed to move this stuff out, this is on the inside of the wall, right? That's supposed to move that stuff out, take it to the kidneys and filter that stuff out. That's not happening, right? So now I gotta move the inflammation that's on the inside, and I gotta draw more out, because I don't know what's going on with your lymph system, your kidneys, your adrenals. I'm just assuming that these things are shot. I'm just making that general assumption. So now I want to pull things into the gut itself and have you pass it through the gut, right? So I also need to change the osmotic pressure. The thing that's going to change juices are going to do that for you. Juices are going to change the osmotic pressure in your colon and try to pull stuff out. Also, if you're using the targeted juices, again, you're going to take advantage of some astringency in these juices. You're going to take advantage of anti-inflammatory. The juices are they're going to help you. All right. So how would I target this with juices? Well, what I would do is I know some people do all grapes, all fruits, all this, all that. Here's what I'm going to say I've seen work, right? On cases that I've worked with before. Celery juice first thing in the morning, right? There's several reasons why I would do celery juice first thing in the morning. Like I said, I think your adrenals might be shot. And if your adrenals are on the shot side, the mineral salts that are going to be in the celery juices are going to feed your adrenals. Okay? So I want to feed your adrenals. I also want you to get some minerals in, and celery juice is high in certain minerals. That's also going to help with your stomach acid as well. Okay, so celery juice, it's also going to help the liver too. So it's a lot of reasons why I'm saying celery juice. It's just too many for me to mention, but there are a lot of reasons why I'm saying celery juice. Empty stomach first thing in the morning. Next thing, aloe juice. Not aloe juice from the store, not bottled store-bought aloe juice, not any of that stuff. I want you to get the aloe leaf. I know one of you have access to wild aloe that's growing. Get that. All right. If you don't have access to wild aloe, I know they sell it in the grocery store. You can go to you can get aloe leaf in the grocery store. Even like these high acidity, like, I shouldn't say that about these, but like Publix and those places, even they have aloe leaf. Get the aloe leaf, peel it, get the jelly out, put it in the blender, put some water, blend it up, drink it. Right. So that's after I've done my celery juice. About 20 minutes or so after the celery juice, I would go with the aloe. All right. What's the next thing I would do? Then I would just juice, right? I tend towards fruit juices and green juices, right? That's my tendency. And the reason that's my tendency is because the sugar and the carbs that are in the fruits are superior, right? Because you're talking about fructose. I don't have to worry about insulin issues, right? I don't have to worry about blood sugar issues, even with fructose in fruit juices, because everyone, and this is why I say, people are just learning about stuff, and so they're not really aware, right? There's all this talk about, all the sugar in the juices, there's no fiber. Listen, people, fiber is not the only thing that slows down sugar absorption. And if you need a study, there is one out there, because I know a lot of you depend on these studies, right? So if you need a study, there's a study out there that looked at orange juice and blood sugar. It wasn't an issue. Why? Because fiber isn't the only thing that slows down absorption of sugar into the blood. Structured water, soluble fiber, other polyphenols, those things also help to slow down the sugar absorption into the blood, not just the insoluble fiber, right? So fruit juices is what I would go towards, right? Fruit juices also have a lot of astringency to them. And remember, I want to pull inflammation. Turmeric, I would add turmeric in some of my juices. Turmeric is really a really powerful anti-inflammatory. So I would add turmeric to my juices. Cabbage juice is another known healer for the gut lining, right? So if you could tolerate cabbage juice, I would do some cabbage juices. In that case, I would work cabbage. When I was in medical school, they referred to white cabbage juice, but I suspect red cabbage juice is also gonna be really good in you guys' position, because the anthocyanins, anti-inflammatories, healing factors. So I would do red cabbage juice if it were me, right? But I would make sure to get the fruits in there, like I said, for multiple reasons. One, the astringency effect, the anti-inflammatory effect. But for two, I want you to also get calories, because you need, and the calories that are going to come from the fructose and whatnot. You need those calories, right? I know in the past I've spoken about calories as not being free. They're not, right? But because you're drinking them with your juice, because you're receiving your calories through your juice, okay, you're paying for it right up front. You're not putting it on a credit card to pay for it later, which means calories should be accompanied with everything to offset them right away. If not, you're putting it on debt. You're aging yourself, right? That's what I call aging yourself, because your body has to process those calories, and the production, right, or the processing. There's a processing fee, okay? If you don't pay it with the nutrients in the food, you're gonna pay it with the stored stuff in your body, okay? This is the simplest way, the easiest way I can break this down so that it makes sense as to why I'm saying what I'm saying. I'm just taking you through the off the top of my head thinking, all right? as to how I would address things. So yeah, I would go with those types of juices. I would go with the fruit juices. You can go with things like carrot juice, beet juice, things like that, which are also extremely healing as well, because they're dark and they have anthocyanins in them and they have anti-inflammatories in them. If you don't have blood sugar issues, those are not going to be a problem for you, okay? And the reason I'm bringing up blood sugar issues, why? Because vegetables tend to be higher on the side of glucose. Fruits tend to be on the side of fructose. Fructose does not incite an insulin response. Glucose incites an insulin response. So if you have insulin resistance, right? Which means you're not sensitive to insulin. If you have an issue with insulin or blood sugar problems, right? Which is an insulin problem, and you're consuming high amounts of the carrot juices and the root vegetable juices, it means you're consuming more glucose versus fructose, which could be an issue if you have insulin problems. I don't know. You have to assess that for yourself and see how you respond to that. So that's what I would do. Also, for the person that had the surgery, that's having issues down towards the anal area, right? What I would do is I would take some of that aloe, right? And I would get some of that goo, and I would get it on my hands with a glove, and I would rub it on that wound, okay, to help soothe and heal. Aloe has wound healing properties, right? So not only is it known for healing gut lining, but it also has wound healing properties, so it can help you out tremendously there as well, right? So again, assess your situation for where you are, and not where YouTubers and Instagrammers and Facebookers and people like me are telling you where you should be. If you're not in a place where you can eat more fiber and eat more foods and eat more this and eat more that, you're not there. That's not where you are. Where you are is, whoa, I cannot even absorb the nutrients. I can't absorb them. I can't assimilate them. Why am I pressuring my poor digestive system? I can't do these things. So don't push yourself to do it. You don't need to take probiotics. You don't need to spend all this money doing all that stuff. You need to stop. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just stop. Let your system heal. Get the inflammation out. Pull the inflammation through into the colon and pass it out that way, because I'm not really sure what's going on with your lymphatic system. I am assuming with great certainty and this is a huge assumption, right? This is a huge assumption, but it's an assumption, right? That you're not filtering very well. You're not moving lymph, right? And in that case, we gotta pull this stuff out through another exit point, and it's gonna be your colon. So yeah, that's what I would do. That's how I would look at it. How long do you have to do this? Probably a good long time. Probably 30 days or more. And I know that sounds like a lot. The last person that I had told this to that healed her gut doing it, I had said to them, you should do this for 30 days minimum. That's a minimum, just to get out of, just to get off the cliff's edge, right? You might need to go longer. It depends. You just have to assess your situation and see where you are. You don't want to stay in restriction forever, right? But you don't have to worry about you don't have to worry about atrophying your gut. Your gut's already atrophied. You're already at that point. So right now you have to just get to the juices. I'm sorry. Assess your situation for where you are and what's going on with you. That's the only thing I could really say. It's all I got. It's all I really got. There are herbs, by the way, that you can take to help you in this situation. Slippery elm is one. Marshmallow root is another one. But I didn't really bring the herbs up because a lot of people, when they're messaging me, they don't have money for herbs, or they don't have access to the herbs, or they don't know how to process them. They don't know what form to take them in. And those are, those are legit concepts. Now you can go over those herbs and do your own research and figure out how to put those together, but in my opinion, it's not even really necessary, to be honest with you, because you can get those in foods, really and truly. You can do things like parsley, cilantro in your juices. Parsley, cilantro, celery is an herb, and it's a powerful one. That's an herb. Aloe is an herb. So you can get the herbs in through your foods. You really don't have to go off buying tinctures and supplements and stuff like that. I don't think it's necessary. If you are, you just do a little bit more research on it to find out what form would work best for you and your pocket, because you have to pay for these. The ones I mentioned, you can get them from the grocery store and just fresh format and juice it and drink it. And this is going to help you tremendously. It will. I've seen it work in the past, and I think it's going to work for you. I hope it would work for you to heal. And it might take some time. But you know what? It's okay, because at least you're not going to be in that pain. You're not going to be in that pain from trying to digest and from trying to process. So now you can take your time to heal. You can take your time to get back into normalcy, right? When you start to reincorporate things, what I would start with juicy fruits. If you want to when you get ready to reincorporate, right? And you feel like you've gotten yourself like, okay, my gut lining isn't irritated, then I would reincorporate fruits. I would reincorporate things like grapes, berries, melons, juicy fruits, mangoes, maybe not papaya. Papaya could be a little bit harsh. I wouldn't do things like bananas. That could be a little bit harsh. Those things you kind of got to wait, right? Like I said, a lot of people are, some people, eat a lot. You need to eat, you better hold on, when you get to reincorporating. Also, I wouldn't reincorporate mature leafy greens when you start to reincorporate. I would reincorporate sprouts first. I would go with microgreens first, because those are tender, they're enzymatically active. You don't have to really process them too much. And I would eat things separate. Okay, so this is when you start to reincorporate. I would do monomealing, and I would incorporate things separate. Why? Because you need to be gentle. You need to be gentle. You need to be able to assess. You need to be able to figure out, can I actually handle this thing that I'm eating? And you cannot really do that, I'm sorry, if you're eating a bowl with 10 different fruits, some greens splashed on top, some dressing on the side. If that's not for you, that's for somebody else. You see, pictures I post of my food, that ain't for you right now. That's for me. Okay, so where you're at, when you start to move towards integrating foods like whole foods in that juiced foods, all right, monomeal. And when you monomeal, don't eat a lot at once, right? Because you're trying to assess yourself. If you gorge yourself full of mangoes and you get like this, you're not sure if you ate too much or if you just can't process the mangoes yet. You don't really know. You don't really know where you're at because you did too much at once. Monomeal when you reincorporate things, all right? And start with the easiest things first. Fruits tend to be easiest first. Juicy ones tend to be easiest first. If you need to get greens in there, the microgreens and the sprouts tend to be easier first. Take your time with those. And build on that. All right, so I really hope this video was helpful. I hope I addressed I think I addressed all the questions. If not, you can DM me again, and I'll try to make another video to address what's going on. But another concern that one of you had was losing weight. You're gonna lose weight. You are. And to be quite honest with you, even if you don't juice, I would suspect you've already lost a lot of weight, or you're going to keep on losing more weight, because like I said previously, you are malabsorbed. You're not absorbing your nutrients. So no matter what you eat, you're gonna be in pain, and you're gonna be skinny. I try to say things in a way where it just cuts through and it gets to you, not in a hurtful way, but in a way where you get it, because you're at a place where you're like this against the wall, and that's a hurtful place to be in. And you can walk yourself back. So yeah, you're gonna lose weight. I'm sorry, you're gonna lose weight, but you don't, like I said, if you assess your BMI, what your BMI should be for, you can address that, right? So you can try, you can do something where you look at your where your BMI needs to be. Calculate how much calories you need to maintain that. Drink enough juice to maintain that, right? If you're super concerned about losing weight. Me, I wouldn't be super concerned about that, because let's say you have to drink 1.5 gallons of juice, but you can't handle 1.5 gallons of juice. What are you gonna do? You can't drink 1.5 gallons of juice. Drink 1 gallon. You see what I'm saying? So, like I said, assess things for yourself. See where you are. See what you can handle. See what you can't handle. But for right now, I could tell you right now, you can't handle food. You can't handle fiber. I know. You can't handle any of those things. All right. Anyhow, I dragged this video on long enough. I love each and every one of you. I hope I helped somebody out there. Peace and love. Bye.